Good morning, everyone. I got a question. I can't remember from who about the birds flying for 3 and 4 hours. He wanted to know how I did it. Well, actually, I didn't do it. What I did do was take good care of the pigeons. And I did that by making sure they were healthy. Now, what do I mean by that? My pigeons had no canker, no cocci, no anything, no worms. I made sure of that. And what I did was from when they were little babies, couldn't fly, when I weaned them, even before I trap trained them, I would go in the coop once a day and hand feed the pigeons. All the time, whistling and calling the birds. They got to know that when I was whistling or calling them in, it was time to eat. When I started to let the birds out, they did the normal things. They went up in the trees, they flew around, they were nervous, they would go off, they would circle. But when I whistled and called them in, they went in. And God help one that would not go in. He did not eat. I would walk away, would leave him alone. He went in by himself, but the next day, when I called him in, he came in. And what eventually happens when the birds start to fly, they will fly for 10 minutes, 5 minutes around. They're still weak. They're not strong. But very quickly, they begin to fly for at least an hour. And over time, they fly more and more and more. And they tear up the sky. Now, I am talking young birds here. I particularly remember one team of pigeons that I flew up in New York. They would just fly and fly and fly. They would fly until I called them down. And when I called them down, they would come in and gangbusters, right out of the sky, boom, and run right in. So it's not a matter of what I did. Yes, I made sure they were healthy. And if you think your birds are healthy and they're not flying, then they're not healthy. There's something wrong. So that's the best way I can answer your question. You just gotta make sure they're healthy, hand feed them once a day, and call them in. Now, I fed those birds after work. I would come home, it would be about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. I would let them out. They would fly, and they would fly sometimes near to dark. When they came in, I fed them. When I came down, I fed them. And that was it. That was the way I got them to fly for 3 and 4 hours. When I moved down here, the hawks began to come around. The population of hawks was recovering. They had a lot of programs out for Cooper hawks or Paragon hawks. So when the birds got to flying down here, a hawk would attack, and they would fly for 6 hours. The schedule was a little different. I would normally let the birds out in the morning down here, and they would fly. But it was the same routine. Everything was the same. I was sure that the birds were healthy. I made sure of it. I hand fed them. Everything was the same. The only difference was now the hawks were here. And when them hawks came, the birds were in terrific condition. and they would fly for 6 hours. Sometimes when they flew that long, I didn't let them out the next day. I didn't have to let them out. But that's how I got the birds to fly for 4 and 5 hours. 3, 4, 5 hours. Nothing special, just taking good care of the pigeons. Young pigeons love to fly. I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry I can't remember your name. Okay, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. Please subscribe. And thank you for watching.